I just want to say, if I could say anything to the church and its leaders, I don't want you to be bullied into anything. I don't want what the organization, whoever did this, whoever made the fake site, they were wrong. But I want them to know, President Nelson, people are suffering. People's spirituality, people's relationship with God are suffering. We belong to a church that sealed a woman, Jane Elizabeth Manning James, as an eternal slave to Joseph Smith. The world didn't do that. The NAACP did not do that. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints did it. And that has to be spoken to. We're having a worldwide celebration and saying that we're going to be one. And we're not one. And we're not doing the things that make us become one. Elijah Abel, the first Black 70 that was ordained in the time of Joseph Smith, he's currently not even included in the church's celebration because we're still waiting for approval to see if we can say that this Black man had the priesthood. How is that us being one? We don't want to acknowledge the people that were here. Those things are real things. Those things the world did not do. Those things we can speak to. Those things can bring healing if they are addressed. Those things, but there are things that have happened that are traumatizing things that people are still dealing with today. And they're just being ignored and they're not being spoken to. And they're being covered up, and that is trauma. And people are begging for the church that they know that God led them to, that houses the restored gospel of Jesus Christ, to address these things so their testimonies can breathe and live. And this doesn't do that. Yesterday, I got a message telling me that the church wants Black people to show up to music and the spoken word because the NAACP is going to be there. And to be quite frank, I've been asked to show up at things where there's going to be a Black presence my whole existence in the church. But yesterday, it felt like tokenism. Because why? Why should I show up to go there and so that in front of the NAACP, we can look more diverse? Music and the spoken word is not organically diverse. Salt Lake City is where music and the spoken word is. So just because the NAACP is there, a whole bunch of Black people are being asked to show up. And then guess what? We're not going to be asked the following Sunday and the Sunday after that. And even if we all show up there and we get to be with other people that look like us, all of the NAACP is getting on a plane and, like I said, going home. And they're not here. The NAACP doesn't sit in classes and get told that they're cursed, which I got told in 2017 in a class, in a Relief Society class and taught by a teacher. So to me, I understand that the church needs to meet with leaders of organizations, and that's part of the way that they educate themselves and they find out that I'm not mad, I'm not upset that the church meets with the NAACP. We need to be doing things like that. But our efforts of doing things like that, whatever the NAACP told them, I don't know what they said in the meeting, but what they said in the meeting and what they taught our leaders should be then reflected in our body. That's what it should be used at. I don't like the idea of, making the having a whole bunch of Black people present for the NAACP when that's not what we really look like. Let the NAACP go sit in a regular ward. Let them go see the Black child with adopted parents that is the only Black child in their ward, and let them see our real. That's what they should see. Oh my gosh, I have people who are not members of our church that sent me this, and I have not even had the guts yet to tell them that it's fake because I was waiting for the real thing so I could say, hey, this is the fake one, but here's the real one our church did. And I'm gonna have, when I get off of here, I'm gonna have to send it to them, but I don't even know what I'm sending them. I'm sending them a call for civility that says that we want our members to engage in humanitarian welfare services, pioneering work in higher education, and promoting the dignity of all people as children of God. And that's a great work for us to engage in, but that doesn't specifically speak to any of the things that are stunting us doing that. I know that this is not the end of President Nelson speaking. I know he'll speak to more of this, but this right now is not, I don't want to send this to my friends. It's not God. I'm not angry at God. I'm not hurt by God. God never told me I was cursed. God never told me that I was less than. God never said that I was less valiant in the pre-existence. You know, church leaders said those things. God never said that to me. And it is only because I know that God never said that to me or to you that I can even labor in the vineyards that he has put me in. And I want to tell people that if the desire is to make all of these things be of God, you will break people. Because the only thing that keeps us here is knowing that the things that are damaging and traumatizing us, God didn't do it. And if you force people to believe, and if you double down on the idea that these things were of God, you will break us. If you make me believe that God did this to me, I cannot be here anymore. Because why would I stay with a God who thinks this of me? You have to tell people that the things that hurt them and harm them, that God did not do it to them. If you damage people's relationship with God, you break them and you cannot put them back together again. I watch people who say to people, it's God's timing. We can't change God's timing. If you want me to believe that God wanted me to suffer from 1852 to 1978, I cannot be here. Do not put that on my Father. Don't do that to me. Because if you do that to me, you will break me. I am here because I know that anything that any leader has said about me, God does not think that of me.